Excavation Profits Podcast by Excavation Marketing Pros. Interviews with successful excavation and septic business owners, revealing how they market and grow their business in today's economy. Hear directly from the most successful leaders in your business and discover what they're doing to keep their phone ringing, equipment running, and businesses booming. Now your host, Scott Andreessen.
Okay. Happy Thursday, everyone. This is Scott with Excavation Marketing Pros. We're gearing up for our workshop, how to maximize Google PPC for excavation and septic contractors to bring in high quality leads, maximize your lead flow for your top excavation and septic services. So we're going to go ahead and get the ball rolling here. Pretty much right on time. We'll give people a chance to go ahead and trickle in. Want to give a shout out to Martha. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, I think, and share my screen. Shout out to Anna. Thanks for joining us. All right. So we're going to dive right in to our workshop. So this is part of our digital dominance method, specifically for excavation and septic businesses. So if you happen to be a roofer or a veterinarian or a flower shop or an auto mechanic, I'm sorry, you are in the wrong place, wrong time. You should not be here. But if you are an excavation and septic and you own a business and you're looking to bring in high value leads, this is one method that we teach in this workshop. And so on this screen you're looking at here, we do this every single month. We have these workshops that people love. We teach them how to generate leads using Google, Facebook, Google LSA, referrals, how to maximize leads from your website using a CRM. The whole idea is to provide you with the best resources in the industry to grow your business. And if you stay till the end, if you stay till the end, you're going to get these cool bonuses. The ultimate excavation website conversion machine blueprint, which is on the left. And then on the right, you're going to get top searched excavation and septic keywords specifically for Google. So we're talking about Google PPC ads, which would be like those sponsored ads you see. I'm sure you're very familiar with. All the best keywords we give you so you can take action right upon leaving this webinar, the full webinar, because if you just watch a little piece, it's not going to work. The whole thing is going to fall apart and it will be a big waste of time. So you got to stay through to the full workshop. But we're going to give you that. And that picture is a little crazy, but I'm going to show you how to get the book too. I just published a new book, Excavation and Septic Leads, your playbook for turning strangers into ready-to-buy clients for excavation and septic contractors. And here's my promise to you. By the end of this full webinar, you'll have a complete understanding of proven best practices, how to maximize Google's PPC platform for ideal excavation and septic jobs. By the way, I hope you guys can hear me because I've been speaking for quite a bit and I did not ask anyone if they can hear me. Why don't we do that now? If you could type a 1 into the Q&A box if you can hear me, just so I know that I do have sound. If you could do that and you don't just see my lips flapping, but you can actually hear me, I would greatly appreciate that. So hopefully you can hear me. So why am I doing this? Well, first off, I got a 1. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Anna and Martha. Appreciate that. So I do believe in reciprocity. And I know that, you know, you may not be looking for help with your marketing specifically for where you're at this point in time, but maybe you know someone who does, or maybe you will in the future. In any case, this is my gift to you, and I do believe in karma. So there you go. So here's what we're going to cover today specifically. The latest updates with Google Ads platform affecting excavation and septic contractors. 5 biggest issues that could be preventing you from maximizing leads in your area. And our proven model for bringing in high quality leads on demand and with predictability. And the best tools to systematize and automate the heavy lifting for you. So who am I and why should you listen to me? Well, I've got 16 years experience in digital marketing. I've been an expert speaker at NAURA, their mega conference, 2024 and 2025. There's a picture of me speaking at those events down there in the corner. I am a published author for the industry. For these 2 books, Excavation and Septic Internet Marketing Profits, and then Excavation and Septic Leads. And we only serve excavation and septic businesses. We've successfully launched hundreds of websites and marketing campaigns, proving what I'm going to show you really works. In this time, however, we have had our failures and we have learned what works and what doesn't. What works is what you see on the left. Like the pipeline is filling up, leads are coming in, they're high quality, there's action, traction, momentum. It feels really, really good. When that doesn't happen, it feels like the picture on the right, just holding burning money. So in this workshop, you'll learn the same successful strategies that our excavation and septic business clients are using with their marketing to generate dramatic changes in their businesses and their lives. There's a sample from a client's dashboard, 2.57 million worth of sales bids being tracked in their pipeline. Another one, 433,000. Another one, 805,000. Here's some clients that we've worked with and helped out to grow their businesses using the same effective marketing strategies that you're going to learn today. Of course, you do not need to be a client to take advantage of this training and get results. Our mission at Excavation Marketing Pros is to triple the sales of 500 excavation and septic companies. So I do need your attention, please. Turn off your cell phones, focus, close your door to your office, exit out of other browsers, and just remove distractions. This is your me time. If you're an excavation or septic business owner and you're serious about getting better results with Google Ads, the next 60 minutes are mission critical. By the way, if you do want to stay up on the latest business sales and marketing trends for excavation and septic, check out our quick links. You can go to excavationmarketingpros.com/quick links, and we've got some real goodies in there for you. We've got an excavation business mastermind group, a website conversion guide, another book you can download, a low-cost checklist. We constantly update that, and those are just our gifts to you. Okay. So let's get into it. What will we cover today? Why is pay-per-click the key to unlimited scalability for your excavation and septic business in terms of lead flow? We're going to give some live examples of pay-per-click campaigns generating 5 to 15x return on investment for other excavation and septic companies. And then we're actually going to go over a setup and the structure for your pay-per-click marketing campaign to drive a minimum cost per lead and generate a maximum return on investment. We're also going to cover your KPIs. What should you be tracking as your key performance indicators? Your landing pages and your campaign structure. So why should PPC be part of your internet marketing strategy? You start showing up pretty much near to instant. As soon as you push that button, you have the opportunity to be on the front page of Google at the heat of the moment when your next best customer is looking for your services. You can show up as often as possible where your customers are looking. And you can show up for non-geo-modified terms in excavation, septic installer, land clearing, road construction, etc., which is very different. If you're familiar with search engine optimization, which would be, of course, ranking your business's website, and you want to show up in a city, well, you have to target that exact city. Excavation company near Tampa, Florida, or excavation company near Charlotte, North Carolina. You have to blatantly, explicitly put those types of phrases in your content to have any hope of showing up. Where with PPC, you can just put in excavation, septic contractor, and instantly appear. Unlimited scalability once it's dialed in. Now, here's why most pay-per-click campaigns on Google fail. That is, the business owners fail to understand the AdWords auction process and the complexity of the excavation and septic industry. They set up only one ad group for all their services. Excavation, septic, roads, tree removal, demolition, sewer repair, everything. It all goes in one ad group. We do it all. Click here. Or they don't use specific text ads and landing pages for groups of keywords. Here's our ad. Click on our website. We have 300 pages. Have at it. No strong call to action or offer on the landing page. Click here. We do quality work. You click on there and it says we do quality work. That's kind of expected that you're going to do quality work. So this is just a depiction of why most campaigns fail. We have on the left a bunch of different services that the business typically wants to show up for: excavating, emergency septic, roads, trees, demolition, forestry, mulching, land clearing, and then just driving them to your website and hoping for the best. All right. Can Google PPC campaigns still drive revenue for excavation and septic businesses? Or has it just got so oversaturated, so played out, there is no longer any money to be made? Go ahead, type in the Q&A if you think it's possible to still make money with Google PPC. Give me a 1. Or if you think it's impossible, give me a 2. In fact, I would question why you're even here if you're going to give me a 2. Okay, I'm seeing some 1s. So there's some hope in the crowd. Okay, so this little image is of a CRM. If you're not familiar with the CRM, get out of here. No, I'm just kidding. If you're not familiar with the CRM, it is used to track leads and customers and so on. And in this CRM on the right, if you can see this, if you're watching and not listening, you can see we have tags. We have Facebook ad, Google ad, Facebook ad, Google ad, organic SEO, Google ad, clearly marking that leads are coming from Google ads. And leads are opportunities, of course, to sell your services for money. Right there. So you can see in this instance, this client's dashboard, the majority of their leads are coming from Google ads. Like pretty much 70-80% of them. Which is not the same in every market, mind you. That is one thing that I don't think I mentioned in any of these slides. Like Google ads were gangbusters in some markets, in other markets they don't. That's why in the initial slide, I think it was slide number 2, I said we believe in a very comprehensive approach, that usually it's a combination of all these things is what's going to really make that impact to increase your revenue significantly. But this is a core strategy that we help our clients with. So yes, 100%, but keep in mind, someone must answer calls or follow up with leads. So stay tuned, because I am going to show you the follow-up process that has shown the most success to drive revenue. And that is something that will kill your campaign, is if you're just running ads, but you haven't worked out the sales process on the back end. We're going to get into that. Don't worry. Don't worry. Now, this only works if you set up your campaigns right from the start. And so I am going to show you that so you can skip the trial and error. Your landing pages must be on point to convert leads. I will show you that. You took your time to show up today. Pat yourself on the back. I'm not going to leave you stranded and only show you part of the, a couple puzzle pieces. You got to be able to put the whole thing together. You need to know your numbers. Okay, so if you're getting into this and you have not worked out your ad budget, what you're willing to invest to buy a client, your profit margin, you're doomed. I won't say doomed, but I wouldn't recommend doing it that way. That you should definitely know your numbers in advance, your budget threshold, the amount you can pay for a customer, and your profit margins. This way, you're starting to set yourself up for success from the start. How many leads do you need to make an appointment? I got news for you. Everyone that calls from a Google ad or opts in to a form on your website from a Google ad, they're not going to buy. Sorry. So how many leads do you actually need to get an appointment? Because leads turn into appointments, and appointments turn into what? Someone tell me in the Q&A box, what do appointments turn into? Anyone? Sales. Ding, ding, ding. Awesome job, Martha. You got it. That's right. So it's a numbers game. And how many? Now, we are skipping a step. We're skipping a step. Appointments turn into sales, but before you get the sale, you got to send out a bid or a quote. So you see how you got to have your sales process a little bit dialed in here, and understand that not every appointment is going to turn into a sale. I'm trying to show you guys, I get a little wordy, so let me apologize. But you need to keep all this in mind, that ads turn into clicks, clicks turn into leads, leads turn into appointments, appointments turn into proposals or bids, and then the bids turn into sales. So how many bids does it take to make a sale? Or how many proposals must you give to get a sale? What will your average sale amount be? So this, before you even get and running your ads, I suggest you do this on a piece of paper or on a Google spreadsheet or Excel or something. Work out these numbers. In fact, I'll give you a spoiler alert. Okay. Next month, the exact date is December. I'm going to say December 6th. I might be lying. but it is early December. I'm almost positive it's December 6th. We'll announce it here later, but we do your 2026 Internet Marketing Plan workshop. That's our biggest workshop of the year, where all these numbers we work out live for your business in that workshop. I don't want to get too off track. I get excited though, get a little excited. But we do work out all these numbers so you can see your ad budget and everything in that one. How many sales do you need to break even? And how many do you need to turn a profit? Typically, if you're doing your job right, it should be like 1. Like you don't want to be setting up your ads for a $200 service, right? Ideally, you want high ticket, with the exception if you do something that's in super high demand. Like if you're in septic and you sell septic pumping, those jobs may go for 300, 500, depending on your area. And so you can get away with that because that's a very high demand service. Yeah. So let's keep going. And how much are you willing to invest into Google Ads to be successful? So here's how to set up and structure your pay-per-click marketing campaign for minimum cost per lead and maximum ROI. So if you have a pen and paper handy, now's the time to take notes. So how to structure your PPC campaign. Conversion tracking is a must. And what I mean by that is a lot of business owners do not track where their leads are coming from. They may have a person ask, hey, how'd you hear about us? But a lot of times the potential customer doesn't know the difference between a Google ad they clicked on versus an organic search. Like they're just not that savvy. And so you really want to have true conversion tracking hooked up to your ads so you don't need to ask. It gets tracked in your CRM. Your campaign must be broken into smaller ad groups targeting various services you provide so that your text ads match what the person typed in. So that should make sense, right? If someone types in septic installer near me, that ad copy should show up as, hey, are you looking for a septic installer near you? Blah, 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 blah. Then they click on that, and that takes them to a landing page for what? Yes, septic installation. Not a generic website. Here's all the services we offer. I think you get the idea. Make sure you have a strong understanding of keyword match types, and don't forget about negative keywords. We're going to discuss this a little bit. When you enter in these keyword phrases you want to show up for, you can put them in quotes, you can put them in brackets, and that has a different meaning to how your ad is going to show up. You need to write compelling text ads that resonate with what the customer typed in and entice them to click on you versus the competition. I am going to show you some visual examples of this. And leverage ad extensions to make your ad stand out on the page. I'll show you an example of that. And you have to land visitors on solid, well thought out pages that are built to convert. Okay? Ongoing split testing, tweaking, and fine tuning. So Google pay-per-click ads are never going to be a set it and forget it style thing. That's very rare that happens. Seasons change. Ad copy needs to change a bit to match seasons. Things need to be tweaked. So don't even think about spending another penny till you have conversion tracking in place. So here's some conversion tracking essentials. You can use dynamic number swapping with different phone numbers for pay-per-click traffic versus organic versus direct. And what you do there, not to get too technical, is you will get what's called a number pool that automatically rotates phone numbers. And so if someone were to call in, it would automatically detect, did they come from a Google ad, organic search, or did it come from your Google business profile, or did they just call in straight from your website? A keyword pool with dynamic number swapping so that you can track phone calls back to the keyword end campaign. So the technology exists that you can actually track back where the lead came from based on the exact phrase they typed in. How cool is that? Web form tracking, conversion tracking built into your AdWords campaign to determine which ad group generated the lead. So ultimately, you should know your cost per lead, your cost to acquire a customer, and your return on investment in real time. That's true conversion tracking. And you can even drill down to see, well, what keyword did they type in that made them the lead, and what was the ad? So the most important KPIs for you as the business owner are going to be your total ad spend, of course, your average cost per click, which of course you want to keep that low, and your average cost per lead for calls and web forms. And here's where it's going to differ a little bit. Some businesses prefer calls. They have someone in the office ready to take those calls. They have them trained in on what to say with a script and and they know how to pre-qualify. Others would rather do that with a lead form where you're asking pre-qualifying questions up front. So the cost per lead is going to vary anywhere from 25 to 40, even on up to $50 for septic. Excavation, 35 to $70 per lead in competitive areas. And you're going to want to track your return on investment. So you can see if you do not have this conversion tracking in place on your ads and your leads, you really can't know your return on investment. The best way is to have a CRM dashboard to track leads and ROI. So here's an example of ours, and you can see it does clearly tag leads coming in as Google ad. Now, it's important to stay organized in the sales process. And if you're accustomed to doing things like manually with a notepad and paper, that's really not scalable. And once you get up past $500,000 into seven figures and multi-seven figures, CRMs do become the standard, as I'm sure many of you know that are watching this. And what our clients love is a very smooth sales process of a pipeline. And so this is an example of a pipeline in our clients' dashboards. And you can see that a new residential excavation or septic lead comes in here as an inbound lead. And then the business owner or their salesperson now knows where to go. Every morning, where do I go? I go to the new leads. I know I need to go through this. After I do that, I'm going to be speaking to people and I'm going to qualify them on the phone. And then those would go here. Afterwards, you're going to book an appointment for some of them, and those would go there. And for those that you book an appointment, you're going to hopefully send out some bids, right? And so that would go there. And you can see there is a dollar amount of these leads of $183,000. And so what you can do with your CRM, in this case, we use a lead connector, is our CRM. You can assign a dollar amount to each lead based on the bid that you sent out for them. And then after they get sold, you drag them over to the services sold column right here. And then this way, you're tracking your total revenue from the different platforms. And it's clearly marked where the lead came from, where the customer came from, and how much money you made. Now, let's get fancy. The technology exists that a lot of you are using a CRM already. At a minimum, you're probably using at least QuickBooks for your invoicing, your accounting, and so on. So how we like to do it, and what I recommend for everyone, is that you integrate your CRM or QuickBooks together. And in this instance, you can see that as leads come in and invoices are sent through QuickBooks, it is automating the sales amount with that lead. And so you can see up top, this person, that was a $3,385 sale, came from a Google ad. And then on the bottom, you can see a $1,490 sale came from a Google ad. And so the point I'm trying to make is all this stuff is automated and part of the process to stay organized and to know how much money you're always making in real time so you don't have to guess. It's nothing that needs to be done manually anymore. It's a system for scaling your business up. And then it all trickles up to the total value, which we display in the CRM like this, 2.57 million. So here's how to structure your pay-per-click campaign. Your campaign must be broken to smaller ad groups targeting the various services that you provide so that your text ads match what the person typed. An example of how you would do this would be a brand campaign. Everyone should have a brand campaign for your company name. The worst thing is when you type in your company name and your competitors, like 3 or 4 show above you. The only way to get around that is to run a brand campaign for your company. And all you're going to do there is put in your company name as the keyword and make your text ad based on that. That's it. You also want to run a general excavation campaign. And in that campaign, you would have like excavation company, excavation contractor. You would have your near me keywords. Those are very popular. So excavation company near me. You would want to have like in excavation company in city names. You could do that too. Land clearing, same thing. Land clearing companies, land clearing contractors, land clearing near me. Don't forget those near me keywords. Those are very popular. Sewer repair and replacement. You can have the different types, trenchless, pipelining, septic systems. Again, you would want to break these out into inspections, would be an ad group and an ad. Do you need a septic inspection? Are you a realtor needing septic inspections? A lot of you partner with realtors. Pumping, ad group for pumping. And all the ads in the pumping ad group are for what? Septic pumping, correct. Septic installations, ad group just for septic installation keywords. Trucking, hauling, road demolition. I won't go through it all, but I think you get the idea is that your business is made up of core services. Usually excavation, septic, grading, forestry mulching, pond construction. These would be like your core services. And then within some of those, you have your minor, how do I want to say it? Your minor categories, I suppose. Inspections, pumping, installations. That should make sense, I hope. Yeah. So here's your main categories. This screenshot here is of the Google Ads dashboard. And basically, I'm just showing you what the categories look like in there. And then each ad group, as you can see here, is where you put those keywords. So we have search keywords, excavating near me, excavating companies near me, excavation companies near me, excavator company near me. Notice there's no septic keywords in there. There's no land clearing keywords in there, only similar. So if you got an agency running your pay-per-click campaign for you and you're not getting the results, I would do a self audit if I were you and just look at that real quick. How are they lumping that together? Could be one indicator of why it's not working well. Ads for specific keywords. That's another thing you want to look at. Is the actual ad copy going along with that keyword group? Or is it just generic ad copy? Hey, we're the best excavation or septic company. Come hire us. We do quality work. And you're running that same style of generic ad for your excavation services, your septic services, your grading, your land clearing. That could be a reason why your campaign is failing. So these become your best ad groups when they're clearly defined and categorized neat in a organized way like this. Keyword types matter. So there's broad match. We talked about that a moment ago. Broad match is you're just going to put the word. You don't put any quotes. You don't put any brackets, just the word. And this will give you the most volume. So if like you're not spending your ad budget each month, which is common, and you're not getting leads, you can open it up to increase opportunities by making broad match keywords. You got to be careful with this, and I'll show you how, but this will increase your volume. Modified broad match is you can add in a plus. So that looks like that, plus excavating, plus excavation. Phrase match is the quotes. So excavating near me in quotes. And what that means is your ad will not show to your potential customer unless they type in that phrase. So they could type in something before and after, like that says excavating near me. They could type in best excavating near me or find excavating near me, and your ad would trigger. But the whole point is it has to at least have that phrase. An exact match is the most strict, and rarely will you spend enough budget this way, but I'll show you. Dallas Excavation Contractors in brackets. Someone would have to type in that and only that for your ad to appear. It's effective, but it a lot of the cases it's just too strict, and you don't end up spending any money and getting many leads because it's just too strict of a way to do it. Pay attention to negative keywords. I've seen a lot of campaigns fail and wasted ad spend in the thousands, even tens of thousands per year because people are not adding in negative keywords. An example would be jobs, careers, how to, association. We have a list. I want to say our list is on upwards of 2,000 negative keywords at this point. Like for sure, you don't want your ad appearing to someone searching in excavating jobs near me, because that'll never be a potential customer. Hopefully that makes sense. There's a lot to this, right? But you're getting it. Pat yourself on the back. I know. Is your brain swollen yet? Let me know. Type a 1 into chat if your brain is swollen, or in the Q&A box. If it's not swollen, how about a 2? Just want to take a quick temperature of the room. 1, if your brain is totally swollen. 2, if you're still okay. Okay. I got a 1 and a 2. All right. Well, hang in there. Let's keep going here. You need to write compelling text ads that resonate with what the customer typed in and entice them to click on you versus the competition. A lot of times less is more. Tell them exactly what you want them to do. If you have a special for the service that they searched, you can reference that in the text ad. That's even better. So make it easy for them to reach out to you how they want. And the most popular ways that people reach out for excavation and septic is they will call, they will text, they will web chat, or fill out a form. Those 4 ways. And then you can automate and use AI to follow up with those people. And I'm going to show you how that works. So here's some best performing text ads for excavation and septic. Excavation super sale, family owned and operated, local company with the equipment and knowledge to complete your project on time and on budget, top rated excavation company. So this would be specific just for excavation. You would not want to run this ad for septic, for instance, or for demolition, because it's not specific. Here's the one for septic. Commercial and residential, top septic installation service, competitive rates, local company with the equipment and knowledge to complete your project on time and on budget, your top rated excavation company committed to superior quality and results, called Bay. Those ads actually do really well. Now you can make your ad jump off the page with ad extensions, and I'll show you an example what that looks like. So here are site link extensions, and the whole purpose of this is to make your ads as big as possible on the page. Here's a deal. You can put in a promotion extension, and here's a deal. Get $1,000 off with a time frame and a code. And if you look at the difference between the ad up top and the ad on the bottom, the ad on the bottom is really dinky. So, I mean, ask yourself, which one catches your eye more and which one would you click? Use your own online assets to dominate the Google 3-pack. So, hopefully you have a Google business profile. If not, you should go do that first. That's really a key to long-term success for your business, is to have that. I'm assuming most of you have that. So you can run your Google pay-per-click ads straight to the Maps pack, which is still, after over a decade, one of the most desirable places to be to bring in leads and customers. People trust the Maps pack because of the star rating. It's got your reviews. It's got, in many cases, how many years you've been in business, your core services you offer, your address, your hours of operation, and your phone number, and your website link. So for those that don't know you, I mean, what better way can they get a peek inside your business than that little section right there? So that little sneak attack is putting your sponsored ad right above the Maps pack like that. And people always ask me, you know, how can I show up in other counties in the Maps pack? And really, your Google business profile is only going to go so far. You're going to be lucky to get a 15-mile radius out of that. If you want to be showing in the Maps pack in other counties you serve, this is how you do it. And it's instant. And here's where you do this. Oh, can I go back? Yeah, here's where you do this. You have a section in your Google Ads dashboard called Assets. And here is where all these things live. Site links, call outs, structured snippets, calls, lead forms, all that stuff. Your promotions are accessed right here. And then that, when you set those, show up in your ads right there. How cool is that? And there. And there. And there. So one of the biggest ways that your pay-per-click campaign on Google is going to fail for your excavation or septic business is by having the wrong landing page. So if your current provider is running your Google ads and they are going to your main website, tell them nicely, you ought to not do that. And the reason being is because if you give people too many options, they do nothing. Instead, you want to make it stupid simple. And so here's a very, very successful landing page. And as you can see, it's quite simple. And this is very intentional. So the first, and what this is, so I explain this right, is this is a mobile version of this page. Because over 70% of your traffic is going to be mobile. But this is going to show you from top to bottom as if you and I were scrolling down on our smartphone. So it has the company name, locally family owned and operated, the phone number, which is, of course, a click to call, and a family photo. Why? Why wouldn't you put your equipment, right? Because people don't do business with equipment. They do business with other people. And they need to know you, like you, and trust you before they're going to want to do business with you. So that's why we do that. What's better than that? You holding a baby and a puppy. And then you have the special below, 10% off new clients, free basic inspection, financing available. About specials, by the way, and guarantees, we've tested so many. And the whole point is to sell the click and to get the lead, right? Get the opt-in, get the call. But do you know how many people remember what special was mentioned or even call you on it? Type in the Q&A box. If you had to take a wild guess of how many people specifically remember any special that you put on a web page or in an ad, what percentage? Do you think it's 100%, 90%, 50%, 10%, 0%? What would you have to say? Let me know. It's about 0%. So you know, it rarely happens. You also want to put in your counties. Martha says 1%. Yeah, that's about right. You want to put in your counties because the last thing you want to do is have people calling you from outside your service area. So just put that in the landing page. You want to put pictures of your work. Ideally, you want authentic pictures of your work. And then what you do. Now, this is very strategic in that we are putting long tail keyword phrases complementing the main keyword service offer, if that makes sense. So within the septic services landing page, we've got drain fields, leach fields, septic tanks, and these keywords right here are very carefully selected and added to the page to increase the page strength and quality for the Google Ads algorithm. I'm probably giving way too much away by showing you this. I know I am. Also put, why should they hire you? Okay, usually social proof works really good here. So I would have some sort of a review widget that's going to pull in your reviews from Google and Facebook. And we've got a review widget that we use that's really cool. It will take in all the reviews from any platform, whether it's Yelp, Angie, or Home Advisor, and lump them all in, if that makes sense. So they can see reviews for your business from like all over the web. And then give them some urgency, like time is running out type of a thing. We actually changed this up a little bit where we will show a countdown timer. We're experimenting with that. That seems to work really well. And then a form. So you can have them call, but if you do put a form, I would recommend a pre-qualifying form to weed out tire kickers. And we like to ask them, after you put together, let's pretend we put together a proposal and you like what you see, what's going to happen next? Are you the sole decision maker? And then we even ask them, are you going to be willing and able to move forward after the estimate with some method of payment or loan if you feel it's what you need? And people answer it. It's kind of a dead giveaway if they're a tire kicker or if they're legit. So here's an example. The CRM tracks where the leads come from, and then it auto follows up with the leads by SMS and email. So there's no more, hey, how'd you hear about us? As you can see from this screenshot, it shows the exact landing page they clicked on, highlighted in yellow there. In this case, it was drain field replacement. And then a text message goes out within a minute of them filling out that form. Hey, Ryan, this is Daniel getting back to you about your drain field quote. I'm reviewing this and we'll be in touch with you soon for your estimate. And then the guy replies back, great, thanks. And that's done strategically and on purpose. So they don't just go to the next one right away. They feel like, okay, this person's helping me. This is cool. I'm going to wait a little bit. So here's a recap, how to accelerate your lead flow through Google paid ads for excavation and septic contractors. Make sure you have conversion tracking in there so you know what's really working. Your campaign must be broken into smaller ad groups targeting the various services that you provide, and then make sure your ads match what the person typed in. Make sure you have a strong understanding of the keyword match types. And don't forget to use negative keywords to block your ad from showing for things you don't want, like jobs and career seekers. You need to write compelling text ads that resonate with what the customer typed in and entice them to click on you versus the competition. Leverage ad extensions to make your ad stand out on the page. And you have to land visitors on a solid, well thought out landing page built to convert leads. And usually less options, the better. So some questions to ask your PPC provider. I wanted to include this for you. How much of my budget will go to Google AdWords spend versus your management fee? What type of tracking will you be putting in place? A lot of times we see pay-per-click providers. They will just send over a report from Google Ads dashboard that shows the number of impressions and clicks, and tell the client, hey, you can see it's working. Look at the clicks. Look at the impressions. That doesn't mean it's working. Leads means it's working. Tying the leads to actual revenue, that means it's working. Do you provide AdWords call and web form conversion tracking? That's a good question. So I showed you that screenshot of the CRM that was tracking where the leads come from. That is ideal. you want that, but you also want this. Now, this is in the Google AdWords dashboard, and see how it's showing all conversions, 14 and 13. Every time someone calls your business or fills out a form, you want to see these numbers go up. That is having your campaign self-optimize, that it knows it's finding the right people. That's going to be a techie thing, okay? But you want to make sure that your provider is doing that. If you don't have web and call conversion tracking that pulls into AdWords, you will be at a major disadvantage versus your competitors that do. Okay, so here's the dashboard. You can see it's tracking calls versus forms from Google Ads. That's important to know. Will you be able to delineate pay-per-click calls versus organic calls? Usually it's above 90% of the time I'll ask a business owner, so how's your Google ads doing? Oh, they're doing well. Yeah, I mean, we're getting leads. I know we're getting leads. We're selling jobs. And I'm like, well, how are you tracking that? And they're like, well, the girl at the front desk, she asks them where they come from. And I'm like, well, and they say Google. And I'm like, well, how do you know that they didn't call your Google business profile or your website? How do you know it came from an ad? Aha. How will we track our key performance indicators? Will I be provided with a live dashboard? You guys shouldn't have to wait till the end of the month to know your results. You should have access to results 24/7. So some key metrics to know is your average cost per lead generated. Will you be setting up specific landing pages for each ad group, or will the traffic be directed to the homepage? And if you are driving traffic to landing pages, how will those pages be optimized for conversions? Do you split test ads for each ad group? Will you be leveraging all of the ad extensions to make my text ads stand out in the search results? Don't let them be lazy. What are our targets in terms of cost per lead and return on investment? I think that's the most important question on this. You should know that in advance, right? You don't want to be like, yeah, do my ads. And then 3 months later, 6 months later, what should our cost per lead be? And what should my return on investment be? The wrong order. What makes our campaigns better and different? Well, we split the campaign into strategic ad groups based on our experience in excavation and septic business. And that helps target your most profitable services. So we've done the trial and error over the years. We set up conversion optimized landing pages for each service you offer. So I did give you an example of a landing page within a business like excavation or septic. For a Google Ads campaign, the average is usually 20 plus landing pages. So because you want an individual one for each service. We set up true conversion optimization so that your conversions, which is your calls and your web forms, are tracked and associated with the campaign and keyword in Google Ads. And we do that so we can adjust the bid and spend strategy based on the campaigns and keywords that drive the best conversions. There's a huge difference between this and just simple call tracking. You will easily know exactly how many calls came from PPC versus organic, and you can listen to recordings of those calls, which is really nice. So we even track that. That's when we work with clients, we work in that way to understand not only the quality of leads, but we want to understand as well, how is the business answering these calls? Are they just saying, hello, this is Bob, right? That's not the appropriate way for a business to be answering the phone. You will know which keywords within your AdWords campaign drove leads and at what cost. This makes it possible for us to optimize based on keywords that result in calls and stop wasting money on terms that don't net a result. You will know your cost per lead and cost per customer and your actual return on investment directly tied to your CRM or QuickBooks, which I showed you. For each ad group, we set up multiple text ads and rotate frequently based on best converting ads each month. So our click-through rates and our quality and scores keep improving over time. We provide you with a KPI dashboard to track the most important metrics. This way you don't need to try and create that. And we do give complete transparency in terms of ad spend, ROI from your AdWords and marketing based on here's how much you're spending on ads, here's our fee. All that stuff is billed separately from the platform. Some agencies you'll find will be like, well, we charge $5,000 a month. It's all inclusive. And then you literally have no idea what's going to ads versus them. It's very messy. So I would discourage that. So here's an example of our KPI dashboard showing leads, call recording, tracking leads, average call duration, first time calls, missed calls. That missed calls is really important. You can see in this instance, 11 calls were missed. And sometimes we need to have a hard conversation with business owners when we do this for them that, hey, these are not pennies. Like these calls, these are $100 bills. So, if it goes to voicemail, that can't happen. Now we have other automations and things in place to help save those leads. But this dashboard here I'm showing you, that 11 missed calls is actually really high. But the average, one thing I do like is the average call duration is 5 minutes plus. That's good. That shows you it's quality calls. So if you guys need some help, you can go to excavationmarketingpros.com/schedule if you're interested in having us help you with this. We do offer an accelerator session where we do a deep dive into your business. Those calls are typically on Zoom. And we meet face to face. We go over your local competition. We go over your opportunities. Complete analysis of your online visibility, custom keyword list of most important search terms for the jobs you want, ranking report showing where you're currently ranking, opportunities of where you could rank, analysis of online directory listings and consistency, analysis of your online reviews and reputation, which do play a major role in your results, analysis of your social presence, analysis of your website conversion effectiveness. You can get all of that by going to excavationmarketingpros.com/schedule. And that will bring you to a little calendar link like that. So if you need some help, just type "Let's talk" in the comments. So frequently asked questions is coming up. Do you have some questions, some burning questions? Please type them in the Q&A box and I will do my best to answer them. I will say up front, I do not know it all. I may need to get back to you on a question, but I'll do my best if there's any burning questions. Going once, going twice. If you do need help, I do encourage you, see if we're a good fit to work together. You can go get an accelerator session at excavationmarketingpros.com/schedule. For those that stay to the end, claim your reward. You can go to excavationmarketingpros.com/reward. And that is going to bring you to a page to download your excavation and septic website conversion blueprint to help you convert leads better. It's also going to give you that spreadsheet of the most valuable keyword phrases to use for your pay-per-click campaign for excavation and septic services. And I also believe I shared with you how you could get a free copy of my new book, Excavation and Septic Leads, your playbook for turning total strangers into ready-to-buy clients. To get the book, that's a different link. You need to go to excavationmarketingpros.com/book. So thank you so much for attending. Someone's asking, can we see it again? Are you talking about like the schedule page, I think is what you're referring to? Or the reward page? I'll show both. Why not? So the reward page, I'm sharing my screen and it's a black screen. I might need to do it this way. Let me try again. Oh, there we go. So the accelerator session is excavationmarketingpros.com/schedule. And the reward is excavationmarketingpros.com/reward. And for the book, it's just excavationmarketingpros.com/book, BOOK. And if you were, let's see, did that help you out? Yep, you're welcome. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, and I greatly appreciate it. Hope you got tremendous value out of this workshop. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks, and goodbye for now.
Hey there, excavation pros. If you enjoyed today's podcast, make sure to like and subscribe to our podcast and channel. Leave us your feedback and let us know how we did. And hey, if you're interested in taking your excavation or septic business to the next level online, make sure you visit excavationmarketingpros.com today and take advantage of our free resources and mastermind group for excavation and septic industry professionals.